Okay, hello, you guys. Welcome to this week's episode of the Expanded Evolved podcast. I'm really excited to share the news. I was just talking in my stories, but if you've been following along for a while, you have heard me talk about my vision of wanting to start a school and have a farm and buy land. Oh, I just ran up the stairs and do all these things. And I finally found the property. I decided to buy it, and I wanted to talk about just a couple things that have been showing up for me in that process, because anytime you choose to do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, you need to expect doubts, fears, hesitations, overthinking, like all of these things, no matter how much work I've done, show up for me still. And I think you can think you're making the wrong decision when those types of thoughts come up, but I feel like that's normal. And that's a really normal part of life because your ego wants to keep you safe. And if your ego wants to keep you safe, safe is in your comfort zone. When you step out of that, that's no longer safe. You're stepping into the unknown, and that can be really scary because you don't know what's going to happen there. And so I wanted to talk about some things that I've noticed in myself in this process over the last few weeks. And I also wanted to compare it because you can apply this regardless of buying a home. You can apply this to anything in your life, in the different ways that how you choose to do things and the energy that it's coming from will impact the way that those decisions go for you and the peace that you feel or unrest that you feel. And so the best way that I can describe this is I purchased the California house in 2022, or like 2021, 2022. It was rushed. It was urgent. It was, I need it now. And I've talked about this before in a previous episode where that force of it backfired on me, right? In a lot of different ways. It caused me, I never felt peace. And if you guys have seen that, there's like that quote that's like, God will never let you find peace in something that you're not supposed to settle into, or like, you'll never find peace or be able to rest in something that's not meant for you, that type of thing. That's kind of what I found in that home. Like when we lived there, it was great. And in addition to that, though, like being in the house, like there's been so many things that have popped up and not made it peaceful. And I never had that when I got the house that I'm currently living in Canada. Like it was so simple and easy and flowy and fine. And the shit that I'm now dealing with selling it because I decided to sell it, I just went, this doesn't create peace in my life. It actually, I feel bitter. And if you guys know anything about human design, for as a projector, when you're in flow, you feel success. And when you're not, you feel bitterness. And when you're in bitterness, like everything just doesn't work in your life, right? And I was finding I was feeling bitter with this house. Like there was, every time a bill would come in and if it wasn't rented out, I'd feel like annoyed, like having to pay the conversion or seeing it come in. It was just like, ugh, like this weight on me that I was like, why am I keeping this if it feels like a weight? Like, yes, I could keep it because it's an investment and I might be able to double the amount that I make in the future. But like right now, I don't like the feeling that it's giving me. And so I need to let it go. And part of the reason I didn't want to let it go, and this is just a lesson on letting go, it's like, what are you holding on for? And where is it rooted in? Because I was holding on honestly out of like, I didn't want to feel maybe like a failure. I didn't want to feel like I made a wrong decision or a bad choice. I didn't want to lose money. All these things that were making me hold it, that like, yeah, fair. But if it's creating unrest every day of my life, that I have a bill come in or something come in, or I have to deal with like a fence breaking or the pool, like I don't like the feeling. It's, why would I want something in my life that doesn't give me peace? Then I'm the one choosing to create the chaos. Does this make sense? So it's like, if there's something in your life that doesn't give you peace, you need to be willing to let it go and not be attached to that thing. And so I made the choice to decide to sell it. It has all happened really, really fast. We got offers immediately, which makes me think like I should have stayed within my truth, which honestly would have been hold out. You're not in a rush. You can make more money, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm letting it go. But it's been quite a nightmare and it's caused me a lot of stress in the sale of it. And that alone is just showing me how much there's no peace to be had with that property, with that decision. And I'm so excited to get it out of my life. Okay. So just as a lesson, like what in your life is not allowing you to feel peace? Write them down, think about it, ask yourself that question and really deeply ponder on that. Because if there are things in your life that are not allowing you to feel peace, what are you holding on to them for? Like, obviously we can't get rid of our kids and they disrupt my peace all the time, but there's so much beauty in that, right? But like really think about it. Like, is it a job? Is it a property that you have? Is it you're holding on to like a car that's creating bills that you really don't feel good about? Like, let it go. So just really knowing like, what are you attached for? Where's that attachment coming from? And if you didn't have it and could drop the attachment, would your life be more peaceful? And for me, letting go of that house meant more peace. I don't want to think about it anymore. Yes, I've gone there and I love it and I loved how I furnished it and I hope to live there one day, and it's just like it's not happening right now and I just need to let it go because it's taking energy, and anything that is sucking my energy, I wanted to pull it back for the decision I was making to do the school, to do the farm and all of that. That's going to take energy from me. I can't have my energy siphoned in all these different areas. Does this make sense? And so sometimes some people are great at that. They can have their energy in 100 different places. I can't. I know that I need one main focus always, and I can do other little things. Of course, I can handle it, but I don't do well when my energy is in a bunch of different places. So I made the decision to sell it. And in this new home that we just bought, which by the way, just thank you all. Like it is just such a testament, you guys, of creating clarity around your vision and how your manifestations really do come to fruition when it is out of honestly the service of the world and the service of others. Like there's no chance if your heartfelt desires and intentions don't somehow serve yourself, the world, others in some way, that it's not going to come, that it's not going to happen. If you're building out of ego in this place in life, I don't know how successful you'll be. You might be able to make some money. I don't know how great it's going to be and if it will last for you, but I can 100% tell you. And I waited, I think, to talk about this because I'm like, even sharing right now feels early because everything's not complete. And I almost didn't share about purchasing the house. I was almost going to keep it hush hush until all of the building and all the plans had gone through. But I felt like, okay, this is already happening and it's all happening in the background. But I do think about that. I don't know if you guys follow Kabbalah at all, but it talks about the evil eye and how when you talk about things too prematurely, you can create issues for yourself. And I thought about this one a lot. Like, did I want to share? And I went, yes, because I really want to take you guys along the process of what this looks like to create it. And because I think there was a lot of wisdom to be shared here in the process I just went through over the last 3 weeks, questioning every single decision that I just made over the last month. And honestly, it makes me emotional because I was literally ready to have a mental breakdown about a week ago. I'm finally like feeling a little bit better. But with the California stuff, you guys, the amount of unrest that is causing me, dealing with the taxes, dealing with filing a bunch of stuff, like the move, like all of it is just ugh. And so anyways, with this house, I wanted to talk about the contrast because I almost didn't go look at this house. We had a whole tour plan. We were going to see all these houses. I saw it pop up and I was kind of like, I don't know. Like it just isn't my style. It's not nice in the inside. I don't know. And then I don't know if you guys remember from my previous episodes or when I've talked about this, when I was like, you need to get clear on what you want. Like you're sitting here being so open to anything that there's no clarity to hone in and get the thing that you really want. And so I looked at other properties where the streets were not that nice, or they felt really busy, or it didn't feel like there was any privacy, or the acreage felt like I was camping. Like it felt like a forest and I was camping and I was like, that seems silly. Or you had the acreage, but a bunch of it was covered in trees and so it wasn't usable. There were just so many different things that didn't, I don't know, like it just, everything didn't feel right. And so after looking at dozens and dozens of homes, I realized, I was like, you need to be clear. This goes for partnerships. This goes for relationships, jobs, friendships, homes, like whatever it is in your life. Nothing can come to you if you're not clear. And so I had to go get your vision right. Like, you know that you're powerful. If you don't actually write this down, the things that you are your non-negotiables that you need, that you are looking for, like you're never going to find the property. You're going to be looking forever because you haven't been freaking clear on what you want and you know that you're powerful. So just write down what you want and trust that it's going to show up. And I think I had a fear of actually admitting what I wanted out of fear that like, what if it doesn't exist? What if this image and this thought I have in my mind can't actually happen? And so I was afraid to really say it. And I think I was willing to settle, which look at all the other areas of your life. You're probably willing to settle if you're willing to settle on something like this. Because it was like, well, I don't necessarily know what's best for me. I don't really know. Like, we just see what's out there because, like, we'll just see and, like, maybe it'll just pop up and it'll be perfect for me. No. Like, and honestly, I realized, like, okay, if I'm doing this with this, I'm also doing this in, like, dating life, in other areas of my life. Like, someone else outside of me, let it be God, spirit, guides, angels, knows better than me, and they'll just bless it into my life. I hate to tell you, but if you're just rolling your life through that, yes, I believe in divine timing and alignment and all the things, but ultimately you are a sovereign being who gets to design your life and your future. And you are the caller of your own shots, and you are the one that needs to decide what you want. So after looking at a billion homes, I went, what do you actually want? Like, what do you want? If you could have anything you wanted, what would it be? Write it down. Holy shit, I forgot about this. And so we were looking at properties and they were like 3 million plus, all these ones. And I was like, ew, like they don't even feel good. Like, I don't want to spend that much money. Like, that doesn't feel good to me. And so I created a number and I was like, I'm going to find a house. And I can probably like attest this. I think I told Jess and Steph and I said, I'm going to find a house that's this much in this range. It's going to be 5 acres. It's going to be usable land. It's going to be on a quiet street. It's going to have acreages all around because I don't want it to be like cookie cutter homes. I want it to feel private and I want it to feel peaceful and I want it to be on a beautiful street that I'm happy to go down. I want it to have a long driveway into the property. I don't want to be like close to the edge. I want ample room for parking. We're probably going to build more because of the school. Oh my God, there's something in my eye. And I had said, on the home, I knew that I was going to probably be doing renovations. I didn't want to do a new build, which I should commit to that because right now I'm being faced with a decision. I just met with a builder today and he was like, to do this big reno project, like it's going to cost you so much money. Why would you not just tear it down and do a new build? And so I'm kind of wavering in that right now of, do I want to just tone it back on all the renovations I was wanting to do? Because I had this big renovation plan. I had someone already do all the drawings. Everything is ready to go. And when we brought him in, he was like, like I would rather do a new build and I think it's better for your investment. But part of me, you guys, this is where it's helpful to do these podcasts because I just talk out loud. Like, I love the character of this home. I would love taller ceilings. I would love more space inside. Some of the configurations are really weird. But from the outside, like, yes, it's older. It's a 40-year-old home, but I love the style. Like, it has the front porch. It has it like looks like oh my God, this thing in my, it looks like a cute little farmhouse. And I'm like, I could technically just reno this and like make it really pretty. And keep it as is. And it would be smaller. It wouldn't be this big grand home that I would love to live in. But I'm like, am I happy with that right now? And like, no stress in terms of finances to do it. And I don't know, like, I'm in this phase right now of deciding, like, am I going to tear it down and do a big reno, which honestly breaks my heart to think about the owner who sold it to me, who built this, lived in it, and just left. Like, she was in it with her husband. Her husband died. She grew her family there. Like, I'm really sentimental like that. And so to think about tearing it down, I just don't think I have the heart to do it, to be honest. Even though it would give me the big, big, beautiful home that I would love to have. And so again, this is where I need to check my morals, my values, and what I'm doing it for. And am I doing it out of ego? Am I doing it out of what I really want? And like, not people pleasing and thinking about her being sad that I tore it down, but then also, am I going to be sad I tore it down, or do I want to do that and just build it new? I don't know. So that's what I'm being faced with now. But my point is that when I looked at this home the first time, I almost didn't go to it. And then we decided to go look at it as a last kind of like, whatever, let's just go see. And I went with the designer, Robert Blaney, by the way. That's who I'm using to help design everything. And we drove in and I went, holy shit, I can't believe I almost didn't come see this. Like, this feels like the one. Like, we turned down the street and I was like, okay, I said that I wanted a quiet street. Okay, here it is. I said that I wanted to be around other acreages. Okay, here it is. We drove up to the driveway and it was a long driveway. And I was like, oh my God, here's the long driveway. It had 5 acres, which is what I wanted. It had usable space. It didn't feel like I was on a campground. The one thing it didn't have that I asked for was a willow tree, but he told me we could add one of those. So that was like the only thing that wasn't there. And it felt really good. Like, everything about it felt really good. And so I went back for a second time and I was like, no, I think this is the house. But there was no offers on it. She had told me like we couldn't write an offer until there was an accepted offer on my house. So we listed my house. And in the process, I just went, wait a second. Can I get approved for a mortgage without selling my house? I just decided to ask that question. And I want you guys to pay attention because other people's perspectives of like how things will work may not be the truth, and you need to have the courage to ask the questions. So I went to the mortgage broker and I said, what can I get approved for? Like, do I actually even need to sell my house? Or can I just, because I was in this waiting energy. And if you guys have heard me talk about this before, like when you're in waiting energy, you lose all your power. And I realized this. I was like, I'm waiting for someone to come look at my house and decide that they want it in order to buy the house that I know I want. I'm just going to wait. Like, what am I going to do? Wait forever? Like, what am I waiting for? I know that this is where I want to be. And so, of course, the moment I asked him and he told me, yeah, you're actually good. You can do this without selling your house. Another offer came in on the other house. And I went, of course. And so now I'm like forced into making a decision, but it was a good thing. Like, it was making me take action that I was kind of like sitting around on. And so anyways, I decided to put an offer in. We didn't actually have to sell this house, which was amazing because right now I'm undecided if I'm going to reno, am I going to tear it down, whatever. And so we get to stay in the home that my kids are used to and live here until all those decisions are made. And I just wanted to say, like, when I was thinking about having to sell this and then having to move and then I'm going to rent in the middle and like, it was so chaotic. And I went, you're choosing peace. And so ultimately me not getting an offer and me not selling this house was the peaceful thing. Like, and of course an offer is coming now and I'm going to say no because I'm like, it makes more sense for us to stay here. No chaos, no move, stay here until that house is ready and then move in. And so I just wanted to say, like, you are the creator of your entire life and your entire reality. Like, I'm choosing to let go of all chaos. I'm choosing to choose peace. And that's how everything is working out for me. And I would just say too, like, the decision of buying this house, think about your life. And had I not gotten clear, you guys, I was about to settle for a house that was a busy street because it was the best option. And this one just felt right. And I think that's where anything in your life, like, you'll know, but even though it felt right, and even though it felt like the right decision, when I decided to sell California, and then I went away and I hadn't seen the house in a while, like 2 months almost, and then I was in Costa Rica and I was dealing with the California stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. And now I'm thinking about the budget, right, to reno. I hate that word, but the amount of money it's going to cost to reno or build or do whatever. I started panicking because I was like, why did you do this? Like, why can't you just reduce all the stress, reduce all the change, do nothing, stay home, do something else? Like, you don't need to sell your house. You don't need to make all these changes. Why do you even want to farm? Like, you're so, literally, I was like, you're lazy. Like, you're not going to want to have to deal with it. You're not going to want to have to deal with getting up in the morning or taking care of the animals or dealing with the plants or dealing with this or dealing with that or like doing the renos and having to pay for it and the stress of that. And like, how are you even going to start a school? Like, what's your plan there? Like, I was spiraling in my thoughts. And I just want to share this because even with the work that I've done, even with all the personal growth, my mind still has those thoughts. Like that negative Nelly or like whoever you want to call it, Dan Doubt, I've heard before, whatever you want to call that voice, like that doesn't not exist for me. I just know how to stop it. And I think for a lot of people, you listen to that. And that's what separates you from having the life you really want and desire is that negative voice in your head, you choose to believe it as truth and you listen to it. I don't. So I knew, I was like, okay, I hear you thoughts, but is this true? Because you felt really good when you went there. And would you really have led yourself into something that wasn't right for you? No, like I knew that I wouldn't. And I was like, I wouldn't have felt this much peace in something I wasn't supposed to do. But I had to go back to the property again. And that's what I did yesterday, where I went, no, this is totally right. This feels so good. You know, this is right. You still don't have the answers. You still don't have everything figured out. You still don't have costs figured out. You still don't know how you're going to pay for what you want. But you need to know that you're more than capable. You can trust it's all working out for you and learn some patience along the way because it's like, I want it done right now. I wish I could just move in and everything was ready and it would all be done. That's not how it's going to be. It's going to take time. And so I feel like if anything, this is actually teaching me patience and the polarity of the two of what's happening with the California house versus what's happening with this are two completely different scenarios and situations. I don't have a level of peace at all with the stupid California house, okay? Because I did it out of force and it wasn't something that felt like the right decision. And I think I needed to do it because it was a lesson for me. So it was like very urgent and very now, where with this, it's teaching me like, no, it's just different. Does this make sense? So like the polarity of the two of understanding, like here's the choice of living in chaos and what that looks like, because I was living in chaos at the time. When I made that choice, and this is something else, in your life is just a reflection of what's happening internally. Whatever is happening within you is happening outside of you. What is that like? So within, so without, or whatever those phrases are, whatever. Ultimately, whatever your life looks like externally is what's happening internally. I purchased that house out of chaos. I was like, I need to be moved to the States because like I don't want to live in Canada. And it was like so chaotic and it was so urgent because I just needed to get there. And me and Daniel were like, my ex were, I already knew we probably weren't going to be together. We already kind of knew that we were probably separating, like things were not good. But I was like living in this like psychotic, chaotic state. And that's when I purchased the house. Okay, well, of course, there's going to be chaos energy attached to everything that happens there because I was chaotic. Where with this, I'm not in a state of chaos anymore. So it's like, I also have to remember that this decision is bringing up, I don't want to call it PTSD, but kind of, right? Of like everything that happened from that choice and that situation with the California house is kind of clouding me with this. And I think that's where all of those thoughts came. Like, wait, can I really trust my intuition? Like my intuition led me to this house and everything felt right, but I didn't research. I didn't look anything up. I didn't do that with the last one either. But like, I didn't look at anything. I was just like, this feels good. Yep, let's go. And that's how I make a lot of my choices. Like if it feels good, I'm like, yeah, this feels good. Let's go. Yep, this feels right. This feels right. I don't do research and all that stuff. Like I don't spend time doing that. And so anyways, I ended up deciding on this house. My real point of this podcast, I just wanted to kind of share that. I think my kids are home, so it's going to get loud. That it just felt like the right decision for me. It felt good for me. And yeah, I'm excited to take you guys along this journey of everything. I'm not 100% decided on what I'm going to do in terms of reno or build or whatever in these next steps, but like everything has been started. The home and the land has been purchased, and now it's just making it our own and building the school and doing all the things and like getting that sorted in the curriculum and all the stuff. And I just want to say that whole phrase, like leap and the net will appear. Sometimes you need to make decisions that you don't have the answers for yet. I didn't know how I was going to build this home. I didn't know if I was going to renovate, who was going to renovate, who's going to build the school, how am I going to start the school? I don't have those answers. I'm just taking the baby steps as I go because I know it's all going to work out because of the crystal clear vision I had in my mind. And I know that we're going to create that exact thing that I was thinking of. And I just want to let you guys know, like down to the detail, you have the power to create and manifest whatever it is you want in this life. You just need to have the courage to get the clarity and say it out loud, whether that out loud is on paper, whether it's to somebody else, whether it's the courage to admit it to yourself. Like you can create the exact life that you want, but you need to get clear. And if you're not being clear, you're in a state of waiting and in a state of just limbo. And until you get clear, those things that you really desire and want can't happen, and they're not going to come to you. So with that, I will just say, get clear. Like whether it's a goal in your business, whether it's a home that you want, whether it's the relationship that you desire, whether it's the relationship you don't desire, like whatever your thing is in life, it could be health, it could be whatever that thing is that you know that you want, that you desire, you have to get clear. And nothing is going to happen in your life that you want until you get clear first and have the courage to do that. So have the courage to get clear, have the courage to say what you want. You are deserving of it all. Thank you to all of you who have listened to me talk about this vision for over a year on this podcast. Taking that first step and getting the property was number one. I had known in my mind from the beginning, like people had told me, Bill, what if you do this? And what if you do that? I was like, no, the first step in this is the property and everything else is going to fall into place after that. And so I'd been looking, literally, I started my search and kind of jotting around looking in February. It's now October. So you need to be patient. Like don't rush something. And like this whole idea of time and being on a constraint, like having to do things quickly, like just let it flow how it's meant to. If it's meant for you, it will be. And that doesn't mean don't take action. Like I could have let someone else take this property and yes, I could have found something else, but I knew I needed to take action when I was kind of put in that position of like, okay, well, someone else wants it now. So what are you going to do? And I knew I wanted it. And so I had to take a physical action in order to make that happen. So don't think that you can just get clear and then it's just going to come to you. No, you still need to take those aligned actions to get you in that position. Just like I wrote everything I wanted and then I went and looked at homes. I went and looked at homes until I found the thing that fit the criteria. And that took months. And I also want to say that It's wild how once I actually got clear on what I wanted, the house popped up for sale. So all these other months that I was looking, I was never going to find it because I wasn't clear. And like, I really believe the universe aligns and like it orchestrates for you the things that are meant for you. But if you're not willing to be clear, it can't orchestrate that thing. So if you're wanting a partnership of your dreams, but you haven't gone clear on who it is and what you want and where you want to meet them, it can't bring that in for you. You have to take that step first. And then once you do that, that's half the battle. Now just go take the aligned actions to get the thing that you want. And so that's what I did. That's what landed me here. I still think it's insane, the street and how all of that came to fruition. I'm really excited to take you guys along this journey. And I just want to say, regarding what I was saying at the beginning, like, your comfort zone will make you have fear, hesitations, and doubts about your decisions. That is normal. That's not abnormal. It doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision. Your brain is going to do that. You have to be the one that goes like, I'm in control. I get to decide. And I'm not listening to that voice, that inner critic. Like, I'm not listening to it. It doesn't get to dictate my life. I get to dictate my life. And how could I say, like, I know that my intuition leads me in the right direction, like that gut feeling, that chest feeling, like that heart feeling that you have when you know something's meant for you. How could that ever mislead me? That's like your God wink, your God voice. Like, why would it ever mislead you? But our ego monkey mind wants to make us question it when we make those decisions. And so in Costa Rica, I was kind of spiraling right before because I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I just wanted to say that if you get to that place, I honestly think you're on the right track, because you could never get to that state of overwhelm or that place where you're questioning everything if you never push yourself out of your comfort zone. And so what I noticed about myself, I keep going back and forth of wanting to end it, but then they're staying quiet, so I know I can say more, is that I started being like, why do you always want more? Why do you have to do it? Why do you even care about creating a school? Why do you even want that? What are you going to do with the farm? Like, I was going so crazy in my mind, overthinking it all. And I realized because it's outside of my comfort zone and it's in the space of the unknown. So the easy thing for me to do would be to stay the same, not strive to make more money, not strive to build a bigger business, not strive to make a school, not strive to have a farm, not strive to go make money to be able to build this house. Like, that's the comfort zone. Stay in this house. I'm cushy. I'm comfy. I like my bed. I like this house. Everything is easy. No weight on me. No stress on me. I don't have to do anything. But do you really think that we were put here to not do and create? That's a lie. That is a lie. And I also want to say, if you're into the masculine feminine energy stuff, when you learn about the energetics of masculine and feminine, it can make you think you're not supposed to do anything. That's a lie. We are meant to do, we are meant to create on this planet. And I swear to God, I've never felt such a God pull, I guess you could call it, as this school. I don't actually care. Okay. I don't care about the school that much. I'm like, I would rather not do it at all. But the amount of conversations I have, the things that I hear, and how there is nothing like it that exists, it's one of those things that I have been pulled to do, even though I don't necessarily want to. It's like I'm being a servant of the thing that I'm being called to do. It's not my passion project. It's not like what I love, 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 love. I might find that I love it once I start to create it and do all the things. But it's like, I can't explain it other than like it's a God pull, a divine intervention and orchestration pulling me to do this thing that I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's wild because if you guys know my story, when I lived in California, do you know what I almost started? A school. I applied for it. I got to the final part of it, the final application process where I was about to start a school, which is so wild to think about. And I felt a level of darkness around it. I can't explain it. It just felt like a dark cloud. And I was in a Reiki session thinking about this, and it just felt like darkness. And I went, that's weird. Like, you were so excited to start the school and it all felt good. What could that darkness be about? And I realized now it was the organization in the school. It just wasn't for me. It was still too academically driven in the sense that didn't allow the kids the freedom that I'm hoping to create for them to really let them thrive in their unique genius and just teach them the foundations and fundamentals of being a human that I think we miss in regular school. Like, we fill it with so much just honestly garbage that is not useful or helpful. And I'm really excited to create something different. I don't know how to explain it other than that like it's a major pull that I just have to do it. I'm like, I was put here to do it. not even like it's my thing. I'm like, oh my God, I just love school. I would love to create a school for, no, it's just like, I'm literally being pulled. Like I have to do it. I have to create it. No one else is doing it. And so it's me. And I would love it to be somebody else, you guys. I've waited the last few years hoping somebody else would just do it and someone else would create it. And because like, I don't want to take that on, but it was like, no, sorry, you're never going to find the thing you're looking for because it's you. It's you. You have to create it. And so remember that you have that power within you to create the thing. Like if you look around and the thing that you wish existed doesn't exist, it's you.
This is important.
What is it?
I think our Legos here. So it doesn't have Arbonne on it.
It's not an Arbonne box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's check.
Anyways, it's like if something doesn't exist that you wish did and you're looking for it, it's probably you. You're probably the one that has to go create it, and you're the one that has to go build it, and you have all of that potential and capability within you. You do not need the answers. You just need to trust yourself that you will figure it out along the way. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I hope that encourages you and leaves you with that like you're never going to have all the answers. You're never going to have it all figured out. You have to be the one to go build it and create it, and you'll find the answers as you go. But you need to take those first steps and just trust that when you jump, the net will appear, everything will fall into place when it's coming from heartfelt desires to help and serve others. So that's the process I'm going through. Thank you guys for all of you who have encouraged me and been in this vision and like seen the vision of what I wanted and have encouraged me along the way. I know that this is just the first step in creating the physical school on the property, and I know it's going to get way bigger than that. And so once we have the foundation laid out, I'll be sure to figure out how to give access to all the people who are wanting it that don't live locally, because I know that it's going to be so much bigger than just this first step. So thank you guys for being part of this journey. Hopefully this made sense. I was just like thinking how much I'm learning on this process and this journey, and I just wanted to share it live while I'm in it, while I'm thinking about it, because I know how many people, they opt out. Like the second that they have that questioning thought, they think it's not meant for them, and that's not true. You're just always going to have that inner critic voice fighting you, and it's up to you to choose that you're not going to listen to it, and you're going to trust yourself, and you can never be misled into something that's meant for you. So thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. We'll see you in next week's episode.